All right, guys. Well, this is day number 12 of crazy. The reason I call it crazy is because I can't think of any other word to describe what's going on right now in our country and in our world. The reason I come up with day number 12 is I think the last NBA game was on March the 11th. And that night they postponed the season. And then the next day, 2, 3, 4 days, you see all of these other sports, the Major League Baseball, golf, NASCAR, you name it, they started canceling or postponing their seasons. And of course, since then we've seen, businesses shut down and a lot of restrictions placed on us. And I can't, sometimes I'm at a loss of words of what reality is right now, but I think this reality, obviously, I would say is temporary. And as we move forward in the days ahead, we just got to keep trusting and keep on realizing that God is on the throne. He knew this was coming. This did not come as a shock to him. And we've got to keep strong in the faith and keep encouraging one another. And that's there's different words that keep coming to my mind during this whole process, during this whole situation that we're in. One verse that comes to my mind, I've read this verse a few times lately, whether it be our Faithful Families class or our youth group, Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 and 25, it says, "Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works, and let us not neglect our meeting together as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near." And I look at verse number 24, and it says that we got to think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and acts of good works. And that's going to look really different for us right now because we have so many restrictions on us. But that does not mean that we can't motivate each other to acts of love and acts of good works. We just have to get creative how we do it. One of the most obvious ways that we're going to do that for the foreseeable future is how I'm doing this right now today, and how many of you guys have been doing it is through technology, through social media, and through all those different platforms that we're able to do that. I encourage each of you guys, as we talked about on Impact Live last Thursday, to hold each other accountable, to be encouraging during this time. We have got to stick together during this time. And verse number 25, it says, "Let us not neglect our meeting together." Our local church didn't meet in a building this past Sunday. Our youth group did not meet in the youth center this past Thursday, nor will we meet this Thursday in the youth center. But we can still come together and meet together this Thursday via social media, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. And I think it would do us all well if we come together through this very unique way for the next few weeks, so we can be encouraging to one another. I mean, I look at like passages in 1 Thessalonians where Paul tells the people there in Thessalonica, it says, basically, it's just really simple. He says, encourage one another and build one another up. Then in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse number 8, he says, above all, keep loving one another earnestly. And so I challenge all of us in Liberty Impact to keep loving one another, to keep encouraging one another, and to come together. Yes, we will not be in a building this Thursday. We'll not be in the building together this Sunday. But we can still come together through the ways we are doing it on Thursday and Sunday evening. And I can't imagine going through a situation like this in a time like this and not have believers staying connected and being close together. And so I encourage all of us here over the next several weeks to do just that. And even when we come back together, I pray that this closeness, that this commitment that we all that a lot of us have right now to stay connected, I hope when we get back together in our normal way, hopefully here sooner rather than later, that we will still have that fire and that drive to stay connected and to stay encouraging to one another, not just during this difficult time, but in the future as well when we get back to whatever normality might be. So I hope that's an encouragement to you today. On this YouTube channel, I put I have 2 songs of the day that you guys can listen to, and hope that's a blessing to you guys. And we'll do another YouTube clip on Wednesday, and then we'll see you at Impact Live on Thursday at 6:30.